Wow. The Bill of Rights. Oh, Mike get mad. Ah. That's good, dude. That's good. You talk about the prophet Clint Eastwood. About the prophet, the outlaw Josie Wales. Yeah, first of all, you gotta get mad. Plain mad dog mad. Nah, man, the premise that you sort of missed on Robbie's vid wasn't that we should change the Constitution, and it's great that we have the ability to. The premise of Robbie G's vid is that the founding fathers were so intelligent that they actually knew that they didn't know everything. And in a roundabout way, that is the highest compliment that you could really pay an intelligent person. It's like, wow, this guy is so smart that he left provision for anything that he couldn't think of. You know, I know you're an atheist, but when the Apostle Paul went over to Greece, he appealed to they had all these little icons set up with the different gods and everything, and they had a god for everything back then. And there was one god at the end. It was the god of things that they may have left out. Oh shit! I don't like seeing you get all riled up, but you know, George Jetson is in the future, and he would know. But I don't think it's Robbie G's intention to want to change your Constitution and take away your toys and his toys and make you pay for a fishing license. Because, you know, for Robbie G, if you think a fishing license is expensive to go get lobster in Massachusetts, you should see what the hunting license is to skeet shoot bald eagle that Robbie G has to pay. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's some pretty big money. And then to go to Montana and hunt buffalo and shit. And he probably comes into my neck of the woods and clubs manatees. It's not cheap to get a license for that shit. And I think that's why they protect those animals, so they can get 10 times more for the licenses. Oh hell. Anyway, on with the topic of the vid and the Bill of Rights. To go into it a little bit more, what's the big deal about the Bill of Rights? What makes them such a big deal compared to the other amendments, or even compared to the Constitution itself? The Google commandos that Mike talks about can go ahead and search this, but I want to say the number 17 delegates comes to mind. But a high number of delegates were not going to ratify the Constitution, or they ratified the Constitution under the assumption that the Bill of Rights would immediately be put into place. And we talk about the Founding Fathers and the Founding Fathers. We say that so much. It's like our fucking mantra. But in reality, there's a lot of different guys that were trying to do their best for themselves and their families back then. What the Bill of Rights brings me to is a Founding Fathers that just gets a little blip in our history books, and that's a Mr. George Mason, and he quit the Constitutional Congress. He stormed out because he went in there with the understanding that it was going to be a revision of the Articles of the Confederacy, and he went ahead and he left the Constitutional Congress and wrote the Virginia Declaration of Rights, which is a very, very, very framing work for the Bill of Rights itself. Look at that moisture. That's gross. And there's some good ones in there, man. And if you look at the Virginia Declaration of Rights, such as recalling representatives, pretty good stuff. Yeah, the Bill of Rights are definitely special. And if you really want to know when our Congress started moving backwards, it was whichever Congress was in power around about the time of Abraham Lincoln and the Northern War of Aggression. There were more laws put into place that were built and designed to punish segments of the population, and there were bills and warrants put into place to fund things to take place, to hedge government positions, and there were executive precedences put in place by Abraham Lincoln, who we revere so very fucking dearly as a man who saved a country. Well, it's old Abe Lincoln that you get to thank for the whole commander-in-chief getting to put the military anywhere he wants for 90 days. He put a blockade of New Orleans in place with zero congressional authority. A standing president of the United States of America put a blockade in place denying access to an American port. Do I need to repeat that? And ever since then, the precedent has been set for the commander-in-chief to move the military, and then Congress follows suit. Just as recently as, I'm not going to bring up Operation Iraqi Freedom, but Operation Desert Shield, the initial troop movement, the percentage of troop movement that George Bush Sr. initially moved those troops over was based on the executive precedent set by Abraham Lincoln. And if you look historically at the amendments, you had the first few there, which are really awesome, and they should be read every once in a while, just in case you lose sight of where you're at. But it's like there wasn't anything for the longest time, and then all of a sudden, Congress manages to ratify something, and then, man, the whole thing just snowballs. So in summation of this long and rambling video, which I think is maybe a betrayal to my poor subscribers, and I really want to apologize to you new people. Robbie G was just paying the Founding Fathers a compliment, and the other part is you are 100% correct, and I am in agreement with you and stand shoulder to shoulder with you on the just because you can change something doesn't mean you should. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you soon.